Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you my setups and how I've created them. So how I've got the room set up at the moment is how I've had it the last couple of years, that I've kind of created this setup and then I've just changed it for like certain videos to have certain buildings out and things like that. But I've not really changed it recently, but I'm planning in the new year, probably after Christmas, once Christmas videos are done, then I want to try and change all my setups a little bit to try and get maybe more things out or different things out that I haven't had out as much, to change my setups a bit. So I haven't got the space to have everything set up. So I have my middle table, which I'll have like town series on, or the shops or houses, and then I've got the permanent things around the room, which I'll show you now. So here is the farm. So all around the room I've got this sky backdrop, and it's got a sticky back, so it literally just, you peel off the backing and it just sticks to the wall. I've got it stuck to my walls, which are painted, so I feel like that hasn't stuck very well to that, but it works. It looks good enough. So at the moment that's what I've got, and it's all around the room. I think it has stuck better to the wallpaper on this end of my room, but you can see that it does look bumpy because of the hearts on the wallpaper. It is bumpy because this was my bedroom when I was little, until I was 6. Then it became like the playroom and then the Sylvanian room. So it does stick better to wallpaper, but don't have a bumpy wallpaper. So in this area, I've got grass. So they just call it like a textured mat. And they're most usually kind of used for like model railway displays. That's what most of my scenery stuff is from, a shop that sells it for like model train displays, but it works well with Sylvanians as well. So this is what the grass looks like. And then this side of the bakery, we've got like tiles or stone, and that is literally just printed off of the internet onto a bit of A4 paper and then stuck to the table. I've had this for quite a while. I'm not sure if this was actually bought or if it was just printed off. I'm not sure, because this is what my mum did for me when I was little. And then here we've got the sand mat. I think this one, they called it was supposed to be like for a kind of a battlefield, war zone type of display. It was supposed to be for, but it works well just as sand. And then again, literally just printed off of the internet. And then these like pebbles as well. And then on the campsite, we've got the same grass as at the farm. And then here we have this strip, which is a stream. So you can see it looks like water in the middle and then like stones at the sides, which I've just got along the edge of the campsite there. And then at this end where we've got my amusement park, I've just got grass. Here, this is my older grass mat. The other ones were new that I got when I kind of did my farm setup and campsite and all of that. But this is actually my original grass. So you can see in places where it's kind of been scratched off, and at the edge where I might have walked into it, it's kind of rubbed off. But once you've got things set up on it, it still looks good. And then in the winter woodlands, I've got this snow blanket or snow carpet that I've just laid across on top of the grass I already had down there. And then you can get the little snowflakes or the fine snow that I've put at the edges just to make it look a bit more realistic, not so it's just like a straight line where the snow ends. it is a bit more natural looking. So snow carpet you can get from any craft store, like Hobbycraft. I think I got mine from Hobbycraft, but they also sell it at garden centres with their decorations as well. And then here I've got my ice rink, which is literally just the back of a cereal box with foil on top, and then I've put the snowflakes on top of that and just some like fake snow around the edges, like literally just cotton wool. And then on the middle table, the whole table is actually grass, but then I have got this grey bit on top, which I use normally for shops and town series, to put that on. Because the idea was that I would lift off the top bit of wood with the grey, like, pavement kind of concrete bit, take that off to have it just grass, and then put that back on. But that didn't work very well because I didn't really have anywhere to put it, so I just put it like down the side there, just like leaning against this table. But then that didn't work because it would start to peel off from the wood because it's just stuck on with double-sided tape. So I have just left it on here now. But if I'd ever wanted a big empty grassy area, I could take the top layer, this grey bit, off. And then I also have the cobblestone plates. They were actually from Sylvanian Families, from their online shop. They're in the exclusive section. They're $17.99 each, which is a bit much, but they do look really effective. And it is like what they have in their own photos, so I think it looks quite cool. So now going back to the farm, I'll show you all of the different trees I have. So I've got this tree here, I've got two of those, and then the other one is here. So there again, they are kind of the model scenery ones. I also have these two little trees here as well, and then another one behind the stream. And then the snowy ones were from Hobbycraft. I think they were actually quite cheap, like £2 or something like that. I got them a few years ago and they are really good. And also like glittery trees as well. So next I want to show you the lake. So it's got flowers around the edge. I've got on the edge of the table as well all of these flowers just across here going to the bakery. So then the actual ponds is lake film. So I got this from New Modeller's shop. I'll show you the website in a little bit. And then I've got lily pads and bulrushes, some little stones, which I think were just left over from the garden, and then I used those. So you can get them from any garden centre, just a bag of like little stones or pebbles. And then I've got some flowers. I think they were actually Doll's House Boutique, those flowers. And the Sylvanian Family shop in London sells those. And then we've got this moss, which just I put around the edge just to make it look a bit more realistic. That was just from Hobbycraft, in with their Christmas stuff a few years ago. And then again, more flowers from Doll's House Boutique. And then we've got hedges here as well, which are the perfect height for Sylvanians. You can see down here I've got some leaves, so they just came in a little bag. It just makes it look a bit more realistic. And you can see I've got more of those over here, as well as pine cones. I've also got a little bit of lake film here, so it looks like it runs from the sea to the bakery to spin the wheel around into the pond. And then more lake film over here for the sea. So we've just cut it so it looks like the waves. I think this bit here is actually the original old bit that I had. You can see the new sea next to it there looks a bit more blue, but then the part that the canal boat is on is a bit faded. What I really love about it is that it is a bit see-through, so you can see here, you can see the stones through it, but it is like over the stony beach. So it is just stuck. Well, this part's just stuck to the table, so it's just wood underneath. This part is on top of the sand, and then over here, this part is just on top of the grass, so it gives you a little bit of a slightly different colour. Like here it's slightly a bit more green, where it's on top of the grass, so I think that's really cool. And then over here we've got the stream. So again, I've used the stones to separate the sea from the stream and stones at the edges. So we just cut the lake film. I think we just had like one leftover bit that was quite thin, so that's why we created this stream with it, which I think was a really cool idea, and it's actually one of my favourite parts of my Sylvanian village. The little mushrooms were again from Hobbycraft at Christmas. And then we've got the little flower bushes. They were like from the model scenery shop. The little stack of wood or logs, they were from Amazon actually. Just like a bag of however many little pieces of cut wood. That was just from Amazon. I think it was actually quite cheap as well. Can't even remember how I even thought of getting it, whether I was just looking for model scenery stuff on there and that was what came up. But yeah, they actually work really well. I have them on the campsite as well as in the winter woodland. They're really good for creating a path. So it's very similar to the pond, where I've just used the moss and the stones to make it look realistic. And then I've also got this bridge, which I think was also from like the kind of battlefield section of the model scenery website. And then on my farm we have the ploughed field. So I think this was actually slightly bigger, but I did cut it to fit here. We've got flowers around the edge, and they are literally just a strip of flowers like that, which are also good to have like on a driveway at a house and things like that, as well as the hedges. They work well to have around a house, the flowers and hedges. And then I've just got all of these different plants. So we've got like cow's parsley, strawberries, even got runner beans as well that are all standing up like that. So they're growing things in their field. And I think it looks so cool and really realistic. And it's probably one of my favourite parts of my village. So I think it looks really nice. And again, this is all stuff that was supposed to be like model railway scenery, but works really well for Sylvanians. So I was able to literally just poke the ends of the plants just into the ploughed field, and then they stood up like that. And then over here we've got some white picket fencing. That was from Hobbycraft. I got that at Easter. They had white, which was really popular. That was quite hard to get. Like sometimes I went in there to get it and they didn't have it, so I had to get it online, I think. but they did also have other colours, but I did prefer the white. They had like pastels, like purples, yellows, pinks. But I think the white looks best and goes really well with the Sylvanians, and again is a perfect height for them. And then I also have it around the amusement park, all the way around, even behind it as well. And I think it looks so good and stands out really nicely against the pastel colours and the grass. So then at the seaside, I've got these stones around the sea in front of the seaside restaurant, and also over here all the little stones. So I just got them in a kind of jar, I suppose, of them, and I think they were actually supposed to be for terrariums, so to get them at a garden centre, but they work really well as little pebbles. And then the rocks, again, are the same ones I've used at the lake and in the stream. And then I've also got these little stones, which are a bit prettier. They were in like a wedding favours little bag, so I've used them in here as well, and they look really cool. So I've got these little fences here. They are just stuck with blue tack, but they have fallen down a bit, so I probably need to stick them again with some new blue tack because I think it is quite old. But they were just like model scenery ones as well, but do work really well with the Sylvanians. They're quite a good height for them. And there are two gates. There's this gate here, which is quite big, and then a smaller gate over here in the middle there. Going back to the winter woodland, I've got these little sledges. They were from Hobbycraft. I have this ice rink, which is just plain blue on the other side, but like a mirror, so it's like an ice rink. On this side, I think it was a Limax Village ice rink. It was either that or Illumineo Village, can't quite remember. And then over here I have this, which is Limax. It's like a little kind of mountain and comes with the little trees that are on it as well, which looks really cool. And then I've got these two trees as well, the other ones behind there. They are Limax as well. And I've also got some more of these stones here around the telephone box with some flowers and the cow's parsley in there that I had left over, just to make a little display in there. And then I've got two of these, the roses, which is just stuck with blue tack into the little pot. They were Doll's House Boutique from the Sylvanian Families shop in London as well. So for finding model scenery bits for Sylvanians, I'd recommend going to craft shops like Hobbycraft. That's probably the best place. Garden centres at Christmas are really good for having like snow carpet and things like that, and also all their like Christmas village stuff as well is really good, like the right size, like for the lights or the little trees and things that I've just shown you, like the Limax mountain that I've got. That works really good. It's right size for Sylvanians, and also gives a bit more interest with your actual display because it's got things at different heights. Makes it look a bit more interesting. And yeah, if you're looking on like model scenery websites, the scale that works best with Sylvanians is 1 to 12, I think. I think most of my stuff is 1 to 12, so that is perfect for Sylvanians, like the hedges and fences. That makes it the right height for them, which is really good. So I'll show you those websites now. Oh, and another thing I've just thought of that I have is battery operated string lights. They're also really good for Sylvanians because they are just on like a thin string, not like the mains ones that are on quite a chunky wire. Just like the battery string lights that you can get in like a little pack of like 40 LEDs or whatever. They are great to have as Christmas lights on the houses, or just lights for all year round, like as a decoration on the houses. They look really good, and again you can get that from a garden centre. So we're looking at the Sylvanian Storekeepers website, which is the shop in London. You can see here it says Doll's House Boutique. So you can see they do miniature food. If you're looking for something a bit more realistic for your Sylvanians to eat. Oh, look at the gingerbread house, that's really cool. They do loads. Oh, I've never seen those before. Little jars of sweets. They're really cool. So loads of different stuff. And then I'll show you. So here it says their brands that they sell. And then here we've got Doll's House Boutique. So it is 1 to 12 scale miniatures. So that's the right size for Sylvanians. And they are recommended for the age 14 plus, as they are like handmade and like little miniatures, more aimed at adult collectors that display their Sylvanians. Right, so I'll show you what else they do for the categories. And then here they are, so they do carpets and rugs. I do have some of their rugs. I have these ones at the children's room. And they also do rugs as well for a room. And then we've also got working lights, flowers. I'll show you the flowers because I've got some of those. I've got a pink climbing rose. I've got that, the flower bed hydrangeas. And I've got similar to that, the tulip one, I've got similar. And the terracotta pots, I've got those. So loads of different baskets and things. And this is all like the perfect size for Sylvanians. They do wallpaper, artwork, Christmas, loads of different things. It's definitely worth a little look. Baubles, Christmas pudding, I have actually got those. And a little Christmas tree, wreath. And teddy bears, they're really cute. And presents. So yeah, that's definitely worth a look if you have time. So here is the new Modeller's Shop website. So as you can see, lots of different trains. But then if you scroll down, here is the accessories and things. And then scenery and landscaping. So they do loads of different things, tunnels. So obviously that's more for trains. Aha, lake film. So that is what I have, exactly the same as that. So it's made by Knock. I think a lot of the things are made by Knock. And you can get different kits as well. And then you've got the mats. So this is what I have, extra fine granite scatter mat. I think, is that what I have for the sand, possibly? Oh yeah, I have this, the shallow stream. You can get tarmac. Oh yeah, that's like a desert warfare mat. So it looks like sand, but also has got like stones in as well. I've got one that's just sand. And then I think light meadow green. I think that's the colour grass that I have. You can get all the different shades of grass. Cork rolls. Battle mats. I think that's what my sand is. I think my sand was a battle mat, possibly. Might have been this one, Desert Zone battle mat. And then, oh yeah, I think the flowers are in this bit. Some of them are quite expensive for what they are, especially the trees. But yeah, oh, this is what it was, the tufts. So I've got like a flowery one. Can't actually find the ones I've got. Oh, something like those. Bit similar. See, agricultural strips, that's something like that. Get all different types of flowers. So if you're interested in that, then New Modeller's Shop is definitely worth a look. So then the other place that I've got model scenery from is Model Scenery Supplies. So you can see they do the mats as well. I think what I've got from here was mainly the plants, like the vegetables. Oh, look at the little trees. I haven't actually looked on this for a while, so it's actually interesting to look at. The pumpkins, I think that's what I've got. I've got similar. Oh yeah, I've got the sweet corn. So you can get loads of different ones. Oh, look at the apple trees. Wow, and the bean supports. Carrots, wow. So do loads of different things. But I've mainly got the flowers and plants and vegetables from here. The last website I'll show you is Hobbycraft. Oh, where's the Christmas bit? That's at the top there. Christmas. Maybe Christmas crafts. I haven't really looked at their website. Oh, the reindeer with the scarves, they're really cute. And little robins. Oh, they're good. They're like the chicks you get at Easter, but robins instead. That's clever. What's the bit with all the like Christmas decorations? Card making, possibly. Is there anything under that? So you can get like holly. Not really what I was looking for. So I normally have all the different like little decorations. looking? Oh, I might be looking in the wrong bit actually. Christmas table decorations, possibly. This comes under that. Oh yes, I have the wooden slice. I have those. I have a bigger one as well as a smaller one. They are at my amusement park at the moment because I use them in the Halloween setup. I think I also have them on my campsite. You see, you can get the, oh, I've gone too far back. Oh. Christmas table decorations, you can get the artificial snow. So that is what I've got actually. I have got that bag of little snowflakes. You can see it's only £3. They are quite cheap. I have got that glass dome. Oh, I like them logs, they look cool. Snow blanket, so that's what I've got as well. There's the trees, £2. I was right, so they were like £2. Bells, I do have some bells. Oh, they do the little slices of logs as well. Loads of different things that you can get. Mini bells. Oh, the website's not very good. Come on. Christmas tree decorations. What comes under that? So we've got like little baubles. Oh, these little trees. I've got the little trees in red and gold. The idea of those is that you put them in the baubles that you can fill yourself. So there they are, fillable baubles. They're the little bits that are really good to use. The bits that you're supposed to put in those are kind of what I've got, the little trees, little wreaths. They look cool. There are loads of different things that you can get that do also work well with Sylvanians. Little pine cones. I have similar, but I think mine are even smaller. There's loads of different cute little things you can get. So then once you've got all the stuff, it's just, when you're putting it out, I think really you just got to layer it all to make it more realistic. So you want to start off with, you need the grass and the sky or whatever kind of floor you want, if you want grass, sand, concrete, whatever. So you need like the mat and the sky, and then from there it just looks kind of flat and plain. You just want to add things to layer it up to make it look a bit more interesting and realistic and not just flat. So like adding things like stones and moss just makes it look a bit more 3D and makes it look more realistic. Like when I said about the snow, not just having the blanket just ends and then grass, because it wouldn't be like that. Like having the snowflakes just sprinkled makes it look slightly more realistic, where it's more of a natural change from snow to grass, not just a straight line. I think that looks a bit more realistic, having things like that, and just need to like layer it all up. So it just all the little details are what makes it look realistic. I think a good example of where I've kind of layered things to make it look a bit more interesting is my Halloween display, which I know it's nearly December and I still haven't taken down Halloween, but I just haven't got around to it and I haven't had the time. But I think what worked really well here is where I added the logs, which then add like a different height, different just makes it a bit more interesting really, where it's like at different heights. And then I've had like some of the buildings are on top of those and the little cart, just to make it look kind of more interesting. and then I've put things kind of around it, like the pumpkins around here, so it's not just, so it doesn't look out of place like you've just literally just put it there. If you've got things kind of like growing around it, it looks like it's been there a while and that it should be there. Like at the pond where I had the stones with moss around it, if it just had stones, it might just look like it's just been put there, but with the moss growing around it, you get the impression that it's been there a while and things are growing there, and it just makes it look a bit more realistic. So I think those are all of my tips for when you're creating your own setups and displays in your own Sylvanian village. It's just to kind of start off with the basics of having like the right background and floor, even if it's just something you could do yourself, like painting a blue sky and painting grass, like just green, on a bit of cardboard, just to have like the right colours, and then layer on from that, add trees, add whatever you want really, just to create your own village. And yeah, it can be things that you make yourself as well if you're quite creative, or as I'm not really that crafty really, I just like to go to a craft shop and then buy the already made like little decorations and flowers and whatever that you can just add in just to make it look a bit more realistic. And yeah, there's loads of places that you can get them from. And yeah, good luck if you are gonna make up your own village. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!